In this section, we're going to talk about AIESEC 2020. AIESEC 2020 is the midterm ambition that we currently have in AIESEC, globally as an organization. Every 5 years, AIESEC creates the midterm ambition, which is what AIESEC wants to become in a 5-year spectrum. I'm going to explain you how AIESEC 2020 works. AIESEC 2020 is formed by first some statements, what we want to become. 3 statements plus we are a youth leadership movement indicate what AIESEC needs to become, what the organization chose to become in the 5 years range. How we want to do it? Through the roadmap. The roadmap is the strategy that we have in order to become the AIESEC we want to be by the year 2020. And then at the end, we have the when we will do it. So each strategy of the roadmap has clear steps divided for each term until 2020. How was 2020 created? During IC in 2015, the whole organization gathered together to choose which was the ambition for year 2020. From this, the statements came out. After it, the strategies were created in the roadmap. In particular, it was created in IPM Morocco 2016. At the end, there is also the goal-setting part, which is still not complete. Let's start from our ambitions, so the 3 statements of AIESEC 2020 that state what we want to become. They say, we are a youth leadership movement, shaping what we do around what the world needs, being accessible to everyone everywhere, and growing disruptively. Of course, these statements are not to be taken like this and that's it, but they have specific definitions that we all need to be aware of, because we need to be aligning what each of these statements want and what each of these statements want us to become by the end of 2020. You can go through all the definitions, shaping what we do around what the world needs, growing disruptively, and be accessible to everyone everywhere. You can take the PPT and then go through it alone. We are a youth leadership movement is the head of all of this, and we are a movement with one cause, peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. We easily engage youth and like-minded organizations around the globe to act as one, and when people think of leadership development, they think of AIESEC. But there needs to be a strategy in order to understand how can we achieve all of this by year 2020. And this strategy is the AIESEC 2020 roadmap. The AIESEC 2020 roadmap is 5 strategies that, when implemented by 2020, will make us achieve the 3 statements, will make us become exactly like as the 3 statements choose. First is AIESEC experience, improve and invent, plug and play, and there is a bit of description. Second is expansion, physical and virtual expansion. 3, organizational design and evolutions. 4, open multi-sided platform and customer experience. And 5th, organizational legality and financial sustainability. Please go through all the explanation. Once we understood what are the 5 things that we want to do in order to achieve the statements of 2020 and the ambition, we need to set it by year. So every year has a different roadmap of different activities that need to be taken forward in order to implement all the strategies. For example, this one is the roadmap for the year 16-17, as you can see. So, for example, in AIESEC experience, you have divided between ELD phase, engagement with AIESEC phase, and long life connection phase. And all the 3 phases of the AIESEC experience have a specific focus on things that need to be worked on. In terms of expansions, the same in terms of both physical and virtual, which are the 2 pillars for this year. In terms of organizational design and evolution, there is talent management, culture evolution, OD model, global OD model, we're talking about a global one, organizational structures, and then internal communications. In terms of open multi-sided platform and customer experience, there is the value delivery focus, AIESEC for youth, and AIESEC for enablers. At the end, for organizational legality and financial sustainability, there is business model review, financial information, organizational health, and AIESEC visa. This was the original roadmap for this year, and then it has been reviewed for the second semester since some of the projects were already done. For example, refreshing global expansion framework is something that doesn't take the whole year. So this is how does it work after the first semester, so only in the second semester. As you can see, there are two different kind of projects. One is foundational projects, another is non-foundational projects. Foundational projects are those projects that everybody in the network must implement in order to bring the whole organization forward. In this case, we have LDA embedded into operations, customer flow implementation, financial and legal education and focus, and compliance with external regulation, and then improving the platform and evolving opportunity portal. Let's go back 1 second. So these are the projects that are foundational that everybody has to follow, has to implement in order to bring the whole organization forward. The other projects were or open for innovation or piloted. Basically, in IPM, the conference that takes place in February for presidents current and elect, presidents had to choose which project of the roadmap the entity wanted to adopt. In terms of, do I want to choose a project that is open for innovation and try to innovate the project, or do I want to take some projects that are piloting, so to run the pilot of this project. What we chose as ESSEC in Italy, for your information, is 2 pilots. One is in terms of internal communications and it's Cornerstone, so the implementation of Cornerstone. And the second one is the OD model, so we are also piloting the global OD model. Based on this, you understand what are the global priorities of the organization for year 16-17. I try to compile also for you in the priorities of the roadmap for the next term, 17-18. Of course, there is not official graphics of the roadmap of next year, so I try to customize it and to do it at home, homemade. So you can go through it, ELD, EWA, and Long Life Connection again. Just a difference is the next step. In terms of physical expansions, there is only project for virtual expansions globally. Talent management is a much more complete project because it has 3 points: talent attraction, LDA embedded in talent management, and capacity building. Then we have culture evolution, OD model implementation this time, not only creation, which was for this term. Next term is going to be the implementation, organizational structures, internal communication, so the implementation of this ESSEC hub, a hub where you can find education, materials, and everything. For open multi-sided platform and customer experience, there is still value delivery focus, ESSEC for youth and for enablers. Still, the activities that has to be run are very different, are the next steps. Organizational legality and financial sustainability. There is business model, financial information, and financing legal compliance. So implementation of the finance standards. Organizational health is not a project anymore because it has been embedded in the OD model, in the global OD model. It's not only an OD model, but it's also a health model for entities. Just another small information. This is the timeline that has been proposed globally, and that this is why now currently our LCs will start in February and our MC will start in August. Because this is a global timeline that has been aligned, so the international conferences of July and February can happen before the MC planning or during the MC planning, let's say in the same period. So there is not the situation in which an MC goes to planning, then delivers the plan, goes to ISIN and has to replan, and this continuous replanning process. So globally the timeline is this. At the end I left you a couple of useful links. One is the ESSEC 2020 landing page in the ESSEC.is.ec, and the other one is the 5 years roadmap. If you click there, you can find a lot of detailed information on the strategy that will be implemented.